Hi guys, Gilly Hunt here with the letter H in my A to Z guide to Stampin' Up products, and we're on the letter H, which is hide and peek. Not hide and seek, but hide and peek. And we're going to look at the transparent nature of the windows and vellum papers, hence they're hiding and sometimes just peeking out. So here we go. I've got today a catalogue and we're looking at page 169 of the annual catalogue, and here is our vellum cardstock and here are our window sheets, and you can read those for yourselves. You get a nice amount from both of them. Quantity wise, you only need small quantities of these often for your cards because they're often used for just details or small parts. So by the time you've got a 12 by 12 piece of card, window or vellum, you've got plenty. You'll also see alongside the vellum there is some coloured vellum. So let me just show you these in actuality. So here we go, here's our transparent vellum, which you can see through. You can see my finger, but it does give you a semi-transparent view. And here we have it in green and here we have it in yellow. So that's semi-transparent finish. And depending on which catalogue you're looking at, or whatever seasonal catalogue you're looking in, the mini catalogues, we often have different colours and different types, but usually we keep the plain white or semi-white, and we also have the window sheets, which really it's pointless showing you because you can't see through it. So there you go, there's the window sheet, all 12 by 12 of it, nicely see-through and making the camera and the lights sparkle all over the place. So here goes. What I'm going to do today is show you a good mixture of cards that can be made using various parts of those two elements, either see-through elements or the semi-see-through. So I'm not going to do the how to make them, but I am going to say to you that at the moment I am on my way through, and this is Gilly Hunt 01 to Gilly Hunt 36. If you go and put in your YouTube search bar Gilly Hunt and a number anywhere between 01 and 36, you will find my how-to and making videos. And I am going to say that I think it's 37 and 38 are certainly going to feature some of the cards that I'm showing you today. So go take a look for some how-to videos. But today is an ideas video. So first of all, what can we do with window sheets? Well, we can actually make windows, little see-through windows. How lovely to have a proper little window for my little dog to peek through. Isn't that pretty? And you can make all sorts of cards using the idea of a window, and this little piece of window sheet makes all the difference, makes it look far more professional, far nicer as a finish. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, we can join the backgrounds to the foregrounds, and we can actually use it, here it is, as part of the card itself. So we've just attached it with a simple piece of tear tape at the back, so it's fairly simple to see, and some little tiny dots neatly done with the glue to put the wow, and you can then see through, and we're using the see-through nature of the window sheet to see what's underneath. So on both of those, what we allow to happen is that the front and the centre kind of get merged together, that the dog comes through, the sunbeams come through. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do with them. Now, once you've learnt to make windows, let's make an oval window, and this time it can also be used to great effect for a magic card. How about that? A colour changing wonderful magic card. And don't worry if you don't know how to make one of these. I will be featuring one of these at some point in the future on my YouTube numbered videos. So that's the other thing you can do with a window sheet. What we can also do, and here are some butterflies to prove it. Let me just show you this. I want to get this nice and close to the camera. What we can do is we can work on the back of the window sheet to create some really lovely sort of bubbled and marbled effects using blender pens and cotton wool buds. And I will, again, this will be another little technique that I will show you. And so we can create these beautiful ethereal see-through butterflies. And not only have we used the window sheet, but we've then used a little piece of the clear vellum in the centre too. Okay, so we can start to use those for techniques. Here's 3 more techniques. Using the same kind of technique, we're colouring on the back of a window sheet. So here we go. I'm going to just pull this to one side for you. Here's the window sheet, and I've coloured on the back side of the window sheet, and then I've just blotched out some gaps, and we've printed on a piece of card underneath so that we've blotched out the areas where we want to show, and that vine then shows through between. Okay, what about using oil inks, oil-based inks, to also suck out the colour and to give you these lovely negatives? And again, these are some of the techniques that I will show you in later videos, but I just wanted to show you what's possible. And also, similar thing, this time what we've done, and it's quite hard to see, is these, within these, what I've done is I've actually used cotton wool and some nail varnish remover to take out colour, so that we actually have the daisies, I suppose, what would you call it, highlighted, I suppose. Okay, so another idea. What about taking some StazOn and printing on one side, so this is lovely and smooth on this side, and on the other side turning it over and filling each little section with glitters, coloured glitters. All of those are coloured glitters on those sections. The purple, the blue, the green, the white. And that makes for the most beautiful little elephant rug, doesn't it? Very exotic looking. So those are just a few of the ones I've got so far. But what about using them for being completely see-through? Because what is really nice is to have some pop-up cards. Here we go. Let's pop up the pop-up cards. They're quite hard to show you on the camera because of getting it sort of... And the pop-up element, bing, are all on... If I come up very close, look, here we go. They're all on little stalks made from the window sheet. So whether it is a rather subtle, dear friend, thank you for your expression of sympathy, really lovely little ethereal butterflies that are just going to float out of the card. They're not loose, they are on little stalks, and those little stalks are made from the window sheets. Or whether it's for a mad 13th birthday card with the stars whee popping out. Okay, now having said that, don't forget that we also have quite a number of items in the catalogue that are using something similar to a window sheet, or certainly a transparent sheet. We have lovely cellophane bags. These ones have got little pretty little daisies or stars or snowflakes or whatever you want to call them, but they're very pretty little patterns on. Perfect for filling up with goodies. And tying for Easter or for Christmas or for just a nice little cookie to hand out or some biscuits to go for the people in your workplace or something. What about some packets of pre-made boxes? Now at the moment we have these lovely little mini clear tiny treat boxes, and we also have some of these pizza boxes, and I'll show you what they look like made up. But you can buy them in packs ready to go, and all you have to do, they're already scored and ready for you to fold up and make into very pretty little boxes. How about this for a pretty box? And the wonderful thing is that you can celebrate the transparency, because not only do you see one side of the paper, but you also see at the back, you see the dark cerise, I think it's melon mambo, really lovely background butterflies at the back. So there you go, decorated up and ready to pop some pretties in. And here's what the pizza box looks like. Again, this lovely window sheet in here, neatly put, ready to take whatever you want to store away. And maybe it would be nice to put together a nice little packet of goodies for a crafting friend. Okay, so that's just a tiniest, weeniest sample of the things that you can do with your windows. Now, what about the vellum? Well, vellum, as I say, comes in lots of different colours, but let's go for the plain and simple. Here it is, just folded up, and because it's such nice good quality, look how crisp that is. It folds beautifully and it fixes nicely. And how about that for a little pouch to put your menu in, to put on the table at a wedding? Isn't that pretty? But if you're not wanting to do that, one of the things I use it for quite a lot is actually for highlighting text. Because sometimes on cards, text, it's hard to get the text to show up, especially if you want to use lovely bright papers. And here's a lovely way of using a bright, lovely, bold patterned paper, but by embossing on a piece of vellum and just tucking it under, we get "I can't thank you enough," clearly enough. But it wouldn't have been clear, or we would have had to have used a dark ink on this background, which would have been a shame. How about using it and embossing it? This has been just taken through an embossing folder and makes a very lovely textured effect for a sympathy card. So it's subtle and it's delicate and it's nice. Again, for text, these are two cards. One not made by me. This was made by the wonderful Michelle Last, and this was made by me on the same basis. And I have put this out as I am putting it out this week actually, as a video of how to do it, so you can have a go at making this yourself. But look how nicely that text just stands out from the background. It's not shouting, it's not jumping, and it's not skipping, but it allows you to use white text on what is a darker background. Okay, so use it for thinking about highlighting text. What about to create a little gap? So instead of to cover up the design, what about to highlight the design? So here's a little piece taken from the bird's paper, which is quite busy. But I wanted just to highlight the two little lovebirds. And there you go, with some glittery little... It just makes for a rather lovely muted base background. So the whole of the piece of paper is behind, but you don't get distracted by it. Okay, and finally from the vellum, how about just using it to add some extra embellishments? So just using it with punches or die cuts, where you don't want to have lots and lots of pieces of heavy colour and you just want a little light touch in a corner. Okay, or maybe again just to highlight the words and to just bring them out from the background. It's only a tiny little detail, but it makes such a difference. So there's some ideas of what you can do with those hidden and hiding properties, or to let something peek out through. Now, before I leave you completely today, I also want to just remind you that whilst we're talking about hide and peek, although these are not vellum or windows, we do also have ribbons that you can use, that you can peek things through. So don't forget, when you're thinking of hide and peek, you can also do that with ribbons. And here's a brilliant thing that can be done too. Here's one of our flax ribbons, which isn't that see-through. It is a tiny bit see-through, but it is very see-through if you start to pull out, and you can do this relatively easily. If you start to pull out some of the central threads, look what happens. We end up with this lovely see-through piece to the ribbon. So, and we then also have some nice little pieces of ordinary, almost like a baker's twine by the time you've taken it out, pieces of the flax thread that you can then make other little bows and ribbons with. And I'm not going to do this terribly well. Let's see if I can. Okay. So have a think about things that hide and peek in your cards. Thanks very much. Come back again next Sunday when it will be I for inks, and I will be explaining how to use different types of inks for different types of things. And don't forget, like I said, Gilly Hunt and then a number, and you should on YouTube be able to find lots of make and have a go at cards. Thanks very much. Bye bye.